Hello and welcome to part 5 of me exploring Zoologist Fragrances, and today we are going to talk about 4 fragrances from the last pack I've just opened, and they are Dragonfly, Elephant, Hummingbird, I do remember this one vaguely, and Hyrax, another animal scent. Okay, so let's put these away and start with Mr. Dragonfly. As the writing for the chameleon, Dragonfly's wings have that sort of, colorful effect that dances in the light. And let's see, another blue colored or bluish colored scent. Turquoise, because it's got some shades of green. Very interesting. And this is deeply floral. Deeply floral. Red floral, again with berry top notes. So I think it's a citrusy, fruity, berry type of rosy scent, which couldn't possibly tell you what it is. Again, terrible at distinguishing flowers when they're so I think it's a mixture of some things, but it's just a floral, citrusy, very airy type of scent. With not much else going on. Oh, and there's a touch of violet. So I believe it turns into a violet smell. But let's see the description for this. Giant lotus pads part to make way for the buds that pierce the surface of the jade green pond. They raise their faces to the sun, their delicate fragrance floating around them. In the shadow of the flowers, tiny dragonfly nymphs also emerge from the shallows. They spread their fragile wings and shyly take flight, ready to explore a world beyond the water. Shimmering pools of nearby golden rice fields call to the dragonflies. There is a bit of a woody aspect, but I attribute it to the violet type of woodiness. Their long quivering bodies flit across the cascading terrace to alight upon swaying stalks, sparkling with sun caught in droplets of iridescent wings. Top notes are grapefruit, basil, angelica seed, ginger, and rice. Then you've got aquatic florals, geranium, jasmine, sambac, mimosa, orris absolute, rose and violet leaves, rainwater, moss, patchouli, tonka, vetiver, benzoin, and cashmeran. Quite an interesting scent. It does remind me quite a lot of the way kind of nightingale is presented, but this one is a lot fruitier and it's a lot lighter and more citrusy. And it's a red floral, spring floral with a lot of violet slash iris woodiness to it. Nightingale is a lot more lipsticky. It's a lot fuller. It has a touch of suede, some leathery parts, but this one is completely floral. But I have this deja vu feeling when smelling this, probably because it doesn't stand out all that much from fragrances created in this manner. Okay, I'm curious about that rice because rice is very interesting in fragrances. And I don't feel anything ricey, or very much lotusy for that matter. But I feel a bit of, there's a bit of greenery in this, because I said it's quite a fresh scent. Oh, yes, okay. Yes, you can kind of tell, there's delicate, woody, milky, basic sort of scent. It's very difficult. It's a white scent, and I suspect that may be from the rice. It serves to kind of contrast. It's almost white blank scent. It's a bit of a respite whenever you smell the flowers. Every once in a while you get a bit of a respite, a sort of pause from smelling anything. It's completely white and blank, and I think it's beautiful. And this is from what I suspect is the rice. It's a very interesting aspect. I'll have to look into that. Hope I won't be chased away by the sun, because the sun is advancing on me. I'll have to take refuge somewhere else, but I don't know where. Now we're going to smell elephant. Elephant is very green. It does have that barnyardy aspect from T-Rex and rhinoceros, but it's a lot cleaner, it's a lot gentler. There's an herbal quality to this that goes vanilla coconutty. Okay, it's definitely a tropical scent, with dried herbs, almost dried grass, dried hay. You know, hay is dry, I know that. And it's soothingly vanillic, almost hinging on tropical, and almost turning into a gourmand, because there's a nutty quality to this as well. Something almost veering into white chocolate, an herbal white chocolate. This is very interesting. Okay, let's read on elephant. This was done by Chris Bartlett. Huge trees quake at their approach, vulnerable leaves shuddering as the ground rumbles under heavy footsteps. They come with appetites as massive as their lumbering bodies. Nothing is spared from their bottomless hunger. Trees stripped bare, roots upturned, even the tiniest blooms cannot escape their grasp. When the behemoths move on, they leave behind a path of destruction. Yet what often looks like carnage is actually renaissance. The elephant fulfills a vital role, purging the delicate ecosystem, allowing new life to flourish. From beneath a canopy of lush, damp foliage, the complex aromas of zoologist elephant emerge. As it dissipates gradually, the core of the perfume is revealed, a beautiful and satisfying blend of woody notes which dry down to an elegant, natural sandalwood scent. You know, the mixture of what I said is vanilla coconut and herbs, dried herbs, does have a fascinating bitterness to this. But I don't necessarily get any sandalwood, not yet. The notes are tree leaves, Darjeeling tea, magnolia. Okay, so there's definitely a black tea smell to this, which is, you know, it's bitter and woody. It's got that tannin, deep, bitter smell. Then you've got coconut, and it is quite coconutty. Milk, incense, jasmine, woody notes, amber, musks, patchouli, and sandalwood. But there is a touch of vanilla to this. And I find that this fragrance is very alluring because of the bitter woods. Bitter woods with that black tea and coconutty tropical aspects. I think it's very interesting, and I think I like this quite a lot. Elephant. I wasn't expecting the elephant to be this charming, but look at him. He's very charming, very distinguished. And that's clearly an Indian tunic. Mr. Maharaja. A very intriguing scent. I like this quite a lot. Okay. Now let's move on to Hummingbird. I don't know what to expect from Hummingbird. Maybe florals? Oh, but we get honey. Hummingbird's quite close to bee. It's again that honey nectar kind of thing. Very floral. Oh, such an enticing sort of deep, sweet nectar. That kind of reminds me of the smell of a very, very fruity magnolia. Very fruity and herbal. And very humid. But this is a very powerful scent. It kind of, I like this blend of this because the bee scent, the honey in bee, is quite powerful, and it is very similar to the way the honey smell is done there. It's quite the same type of honey, although there's an airiness to this honey is more into florals and nectars and watery notes, and it has that very early in the morning crispness to it. I like it quite a lot as well. Are those lilies on the hummingbird there? I don't know, might as well be. But this is a lot more, I think it's a lot more interesting than Dragonfly because of the honey nectar. It's sort of in between Dragonfly with the very fresh, very delicate flowers, and bee with the full-on honey smell. Very ambery, that one. And this one is, oh no, it's very fresh. It's very, it's almost minty like. I like how they blend greens into all of their fragrances. As I said in another video, all of their fragrances have something very natural to them. It's like scents you would always be able to smell in nature. You know how fragrances tend to be, perfumey. And I could say this about seahorse. You know, seahorse is that type of scent that's perfumey. into the realm of more synthetics, man-made things like shower gel and shampoo and soap. But most of them smell like things you might find in nature. And as soon as I said that, a weird soapy quality came out of this fragrance. But it's a white floral type of soapiness. Might be, almost plasticky, like bug spray type of white floral soapiness. I like it. It's interesting. Okay, so this is how the inside looks like. Now let's read. From the ethereal perspective of the exquisitely adorned hummingbird, the world is an endless kaleidoscope of colorful, fragrant blooms offering up their tempting delights. An insatiable desire for sweetness propels the hummingbird as it floats from flower to flower, sampling the nectar with a gentle touch of its delicate tongue. Retreating to its lichen and moss-lined nest, it settles into the cozy cocoon and dreams of sweet ambrosia. Zoologist Hummingbird mingles light floral tones with delectable fruity nectars to create a harmonious balance. A finishing dollop of velvety whipped cream melds the tantalizing notes, completing the irresistible and opulent perfume. Well, as I'm saying this, as I'm reading this, it does turn soapier and soapier, and it does have a thing of the classic, this fragrance. And I think I like this fragrance as much as I liked Nightingale for this reason. But this is, I mean, contradicting what I said earlier about them being all natural smelling scents. I feel this one smells a lot more perfumey than others, because this smells, and there's some animalics coming from this one. Oh, you're truly complex, aren't you, Hummingbird? So the top notes are apple, cherry, citrus, muguet. That's the one. So it has a muguet accord that's very endolic. It's very endolic. There was a brief but kind of growing endolic smell that's almost fecal, like you left your flowers into the vase for too long. Then you have plum, rose, violet leaf, and I think it's that plum that reminded me of Nightingale. It's a beautiful scent. Honeysuckle. That's right. It wasn't magnolia. It was honeysuckle. Honey, lilac, mimosa, peony, ylang, amber, cream, coumarin, moss, sandalwood, and musks. I must say this is a very, very intriguing scent. This shot up right on top of the list. I love it. My goodness, Hummingbird, you are gorgeous. Because she's got them all. She's got the interesting honey from bee. She's got the fresh florals and that gorgeous plum from Nightingale. The airiness and the soapiness and the freshness of Dragonfly. Well, Hummingbird. And it's just a classic sort of fragrance. I don't know what it reminds me of, but it does remind me of something. It's very, very familiar, but nope, I am blank. Couldn't tell you if I wanted to. Well, it's a gorgeous scent nevertheless. And the last fragrance for today's video is Hyrax. Look at Mr. Hyrax there. Look at Mr. Hyrax. My goodness, these drawings are so beautiful. They're so funny. Look at the inside of the fragrance. Now, unfortunately, I've never smelled Hyrax as a fragrance ingredient before, and I have no idea what to expect. I have no idea what that should smell like. But the opening is quite close to that, with the exception that it's boozier. It's fruity floral, and it reminds me of Mr. Civet, which I called Mr. Civet to be quite uninspired, didn't I? But this one is, oh no, yes, this is quite different. This is quite different. Mr. Hyrax is a lot more audacious. Mr. Hyrax is very animalic. There is a boozy aspect to this, but there are also very strong animalics. I'm smelling fur and a very dry, fecal sort of scent. Barnyardy, definitely, but this is very, very fecal. I think it's the most fecal scent I've smelled from all of the fragrances. We've got 4 more to go, so never say never. But I doubt I'll smell anything as fecal as this. This makes it very, very interesting. It makes it very contrasting. And might be a bit challenging to some, but I like the dryness. It's herbal. I might be thinking of tobacco, but I'm not sure. I might be smelling tobacco in here. But again, it's that vegetal smell that's present in most of their fragrances, and I love it so much. I like it. It's a good thing. And it does smell natural. And it's interesting that it sort of becomes, it's either my mind playing tricks on me, but it does tend to be, dare I say, jasmine-y? It's interesting how fecal and indolic smells kind of bring to mind the smell of flowers, jasmine in particular. Very intriguing, Mr. Hyrax. Look at him, so smug. So, climbing to its perch in the morning sky, the African sun reaches across a mountain range to caress a wild, flat boulder, baking it to a gentle heat. From the shade of a narrow crevice, a family of hyrax emerges, hot dust dulling the sheen of their golden fur. As the heat from the sweltering sun intensifies, ancient aromas are coaxed from the scorched rocks, sparse vegetation, and petrified hyraceum. Eerily, they intertwine to form a scent that is both primitive and exotic, its animalistic tendencies tamed by an undercut of sweet florals. This is exactly it. It's a dry, fecal, herbal scent with a touch of florals. At the heart of Zoologist Hyrax is a daring, seldom used ingredient in the art of perfumery, African stone, or hyraceum, giving this bold animalic scent its distinctive signature. The top notes are elemi, pink pepper, saffron, Turkish rose. Then you've got African stone, hyacinth, styrax whiskey, because I told you it's very boozy, amber, benzoin, castoreum, tonka, civet, patchouli, and sandalwood. Now this jumps right at the top of my list, Mr. Hyrax. It is amazing. Yes, it's exactly what I look for. This and Dodo. I think are the most interesting scents in terms of originality, and in terms of, you know, challenging scents. I think they're right at the top of my list. I love it. I will have to wear this on the skin as well, and I will have to take notes on their evolution. This is a wonderful scent. All the while being, you know, in the realm of, you know, typical oriental dry, you know, oud rose, sort of an oud rose combination in this, which is highly animalic. But it's that animalic smell that's truly interesting and alluring, and quite powerful to my nose, because I feel a sneeze coming. But yeah, I love it. I love it. You have made my day, Mr. Hyrax. Okay, so this concludes video number 5, and I guess I'll see you all in video number 6.